me getting here to the room signing on. So I don't know what it is for y'all, but we need to kind of calm ourselves down before we get into the practice. One way to do that is to do that grounding into the floor. So what do I mean by that? So press those feet into the ground. So you feel that contraction of the quadriceps, maybe a little tightening of the calves, maybe some little stimulation of the bottom of the feet, which is, great for helping your body with their autonomic systems. And what I invite you to do, and this is kind of Tai Chi related, you find your belly button, and then you take 2 finger widths nearest the palm below where you poked yourself in the belly button. And then you take your finger out of the belly button, go down below. So that's the center of your collection center called the Dantian. So place the center of the palm there, just relax it there, and just place the other hand on top. So what we do in breathing methods to help us ease dementia, increase cerebral spinal fluid flow, is called lower belly breathing. To do that, you breathe in, and as if there were a balloon, it expands outward. And then as you exhale, you draw the belly button towards your spine. Now, I'm away from the back of the chair, so I am engaging those tall posture muscles to start with. I'm going to wriggle those shoulders a little bit. And then from here, together, let's breathe in, expand the belly out. And then exhale, belly button towards the spine. Again, breathe in, belly out. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Let's do one more. Again, breathe in, belly out. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Beautiful. I'm going to do a few chair Tai Chi movements, which you may be thinking, oh, those are chair yoga. They are, but we're just kind of intermixing them today. So I invite you to bring a leg out to the side. We're resting on the back of the heel. And we're bringing the toes towards our nose. So you should feel a contraction, maybe top of the leg, the quadricep, definitely feeling it in the calf, back of the lower leg. And now let's point the toes away. Ooh. And then let's add a little bit of pumping action here. So point and flex, here we go. This helps us with our better walking ability. When we're doing this ankle articulation, also helps us to have less leg cramps when you do this daily. So, you need to do this every day. Pump those calves. It's considered to be the second heart in traditional Chinese medicine. And it brings that extraneous blood flow from the lower extremities back to the heart. So it's a good thing, okay? Keep that pumping going on there. And then let's invite it in. Let's do the other side. So bring that leg out, sling, fling, get it out there. And then you're resting on the back of the heel, toes towards you. Woo, that feels a little tight. Notice what you notice. Okay, so, you just did this on the other side, right? And now you're comparing it to the second side. Does it feel different in your body? And that may be a yes or no question. And then point the toes away. My foot just popped there when I did that. And it may not feel any different with the toes away, but definitely you're going to feel that action and motion when we start pumping that calf. So here we go. University of Houston came up with a study here about 2 years ago that calf pumping after a meal helps you to lower your blood glucose. So that's a challenge for you. And you can't sneak away and do that quick 5-minute walk or walking in place. You're stuck at the dinner table. You can discreetly underneath the table do those little calf pumps, yeah? I don't advise slinging your leg out there and doing that. Yeah, because, we'll definitely know that you're doing that. And bring it in. Well, let's just do that discrete calf pumping. So just lifting the heels up and down. So this is basically what it is. Now, if you want to add a little more effort to it, you maybe walk your feet forward a little bit, do the heels up, do the toes up. So you kind of really get into that calf musculature, the backside of the lower leg. Plus, it involves a little bit of the shins a little bit more. All right, let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. From here, let's do our yoga breath. So we're going to inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then arms go out to the side, exhaling. I'm using the Ujjay breath and breathing in the back of the throat, making that little kind of noise. So that also helps you to reduce your anxiety when you listen to the breath. So here we go. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Expand that belly. Exhale, float the arms down. And again, breathe in, circle, sweep arms up. And exhaling. All right, from here, we're going to do, it's called swimming dragon. We're going to take our hands together, push the palms gently, sitting up tall. We're going to breathe in, belly big. And as we exhale, push the hands away, turn the head the opposite direction. So we're going for increased range of motion, lessening neck and shoulder pain with our swimming dragon today. And then from here, together, staying in this position, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, return it back to the center. Draw that belly button towards the spine. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Let's do it the other direction. Push it away, turn the head the other direction. Ooh, notice, is this side stiff or does it feel the same or a little bit different than the other side? Again, stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center. Very nice. Now we're going to do a little bit of Atlas point rotation. Again, it's to get into the upper back, neck, ears, shoulder musculature. This makes you feel dizzy. You keep your eyeballs to the center, okay? So we're going to take that nose and draw a circle. You might hear lots of crinkly stuff going on. Ooh, I do on that right side. You may want to go slower. Again, if this makes you dizzy, have the eyeballs look forward. You get a little extra eye exercise that way. There might be, again, lots of noise going on here. And then bring it back to the center. And then pause. Now, we got to go the other way. So here we go. We're going to go the other direction. Here we go. Ooh. I just happened to be home when they sent out the email. Can anybody sub? And I went, yeah, I can do that. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, got to change my clothes. Got to eat my sandwich. Got to get the computer on. Will the computer come on? You know, all those things. So anyway, I'm a little hyper right now. Ooh, can you hear that? Can you feel that? One more time, all the way around, folks. Do what you can with what you got today. And then return to the center. Woo! Next, we're going to kind of open up the blood flow to the brain with a carotid opening. It's called Spread the Feathers. I really like this one because it, again, really gets into this upper chest, upper back business and the stuff around the stiff necks, that kind of stuff, yeah? So what we're going to do is take our hands, spread them out like a little starfish, like really wide, where you can feel the stretch there on the base of the fingers, and take the hand out to the side. Now, what I'm going to do with that hand is turn it to the back of the room. So I'm going to feel activation of the upper arm, maybe the elbow, maybe the forearm. Now, with my head, what I'm going to do is turn my head the opposite direction. And again, maybe I'm going to lower my arm a little bit, then turn it a little bit more. There you go. Ooh, there's a little bit more going on there. Now I'm going to take my chin, drop it towards my shoulder bone. You might feel a little extra there. And then from the chin that's close to the shoulder bone, mine's like 4 inches away, I don't know. We're going to take that chin and point it to where the wall meets the ceiling. So lift the chin up. Then we're going to draw either a half circle or a smile with our chin. So we're going to invite the chin to come towards your chest and then towards that extended arm side and release. So you may feel like, ooh, a little tightening going on for that arm. Let's do the other side. Again, spread out the hands. Again, you're going to feel that stretch at the base of the fingers when you do that, when you're like super stretching that hand and hand out to the side. Then I'm going to lower my hand a little bit and then turn the hand to the back of the room. So I feel that activation of that arm in this starting place of spread the feathers. So this is like spreading the feathers, yeah? And then what we're going to do, we're going to take the chin and look the opposite direction of the spread the feathers hand. And you might feel a little buildup of tension going on in that collarbone clavicle area. And you may not, and that's okay too, okay? Now take the chin, drop it towards your shoulder bone. Ooh, that feels interesting. Interesting usually means, I don't like it. Then we're going to take that chin, point it toward the wall meets the ceiling, so lift it up. Now, if lifting up, looking up causes vertigo, you don't do that, okay? Just know that, all right? And then with the chin up here, we're going to draw that half circle or that smile with the chin. So bring it down towards the chest, nice and slow, and then towards that extended arm side and release. Woo! Clap the hands and get a little heat. Let's get a little circulation into the palms, into the fingers. I love it. And we're going to move this into what we call in chair Tai Chi. This is your combo class today, okay? It's chair / yoga / Tai Chi. We're going to shake it up. Shake it up. It helps us to clear blockages in those meridians. Helps you to make noise with your bracelets. And then let's bring it out to a letter T. That's good for that carpal tunnel. And then slowly turn it palms up and flap those wrists. My left one doesn't flap as well as my right one. That's what I notice. I do a lot of mousing with my right hand. You may do a lot of mousing with your right hand too, you know, where you click the mouse. And then bring the hands kind of shoulder width apart. Notice if there's any sensation going on. Is there a sensation going on? Yes, no? Yeah, okay. Now from here, let's spin the wrists. I love this part. That helps you to loosen the wrist. Also good for that carpal tunnel. And then pause and reverse. Again, my left one doesn't do the same as the right one. And you know, of course I'm right-handed, so that I guess that makes sense. We're going to get into the shoulders next. We're going to do a little Dowager's hump prevention and a little bit of greasing those elbows, those shoulder joints. We're going to cup the hands and toss the arms down. And again, you might hear some snap, crackle, pops going on here. Again, this just kind of gets your shoulder joints a little more mobile or mobile. Is it mobile or mobile? I don't know. Or is it mobile, like in Mobile, Alabama? Who knows? I'm always pronouncing words in their weird way. All right, if you can, tap the top of the shoulders. There's your little extra bend in the elbows. And again, you're going at your own perfect pace. You need to not do a pose. That's okay too. Remember that, all right? Let's do 3 more. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. And just kind of let it slow down. Now that Dowager's hump, we do that a lot in the yoga class I teach. So what we're going to do is invite the shoulders to be towards our ears. So wear them as earrings. It's going to look weird. It's going to feel weird, okay? But you're strengthening that upper back musculature, that what we do in the back yoga class. Now we're going to turn with the shoulders up towards one side. Again, feels and looks weird. Yes, yes. And release it down. Woo! Bring it back to the center. Let's do that again. Shrug the shoulders towards the ceiling. Squeeze the armpits. Ah. I know, it looks weird, doesn't it? And we're going to turn to the other side. Oh my goodness. I don't think I like this one, but I know I need it. And then release it down. Wow. Let's alternate or alternative shoulder rolls. See, I'm messing up the words again. And then reverse. Oh, I love it. And then once again, we're going to do what's called wild goose flutter. It's a variation of shaking Gong. So basically, we kind of bring our arms out here at angles as we shake them up. So shake them up, bringing energy back into those hands, the wrists, the arms. Shake them up. And then turn to the side. And then bring it back to the center, over to the other side. I'm always hitting my legs when I do this. Hopefully you're not hitting the person that's sitting next to you unless you're just wanting to do that, okay? One more each side. This is one on this side. To the center. And one on the other side. And then back to the center. And shake it down. Woo! Clap those hands. We're going to do a little detoxing of the upper body before we move more into some of the lower body so I can get some heat going on. Now, we're going to take that heat and cup your hand and tap, tap, tap the outside of the arm. Now it's not whapping, it's tapping, okay? And go to the shoulder. It's my favorite part. You can do a fist here if you like. And raise your arm up because we're going to go to the armpit. A lot of lymphatics going on in that armpit, the pectorals right here. And bring it down. Bring your arm down too. Bring it low and then bring it up. While we're here, a little bit below the collarbone, we're thumping our thymus to improve that T cell production. So thump, thump, thump. We're going to do a palm up on this next one. And then bring it back to the shoulder. I'm kind of whapping on this one because I really like the shoulder one. And then bring it down the inside of the arm. Woo. Now we're going to kind of wipe off that kind of excess, kind of what I call itchy energy, but it's like, ooh, tingly stuff. Yeah. We got to do the other side. So let's clap the hands. Rub some heat into the, now I like to do the thumbs because it really generates a lot of heat. And then I move it into the palms and then I move it down into the fingers. Woo. Are they warm yet? Are your hands warm yet? We got to do the other side. So here we go. Cuppy hands. Tap, tap, tap. I'm going to move my bracelets. Very good. Okay. Makes a nice little sound. Ooh, right there. Can we stay here? No, we got to move on. Bring your arm up. Switch it to the armpit. Again, you can do as hard or as soft as you need to, all right? Then bring it on down. I got to twist a little bit on this side. Bring it below the hip. I'm going to do my arm down a little bit. Up the belly. Up the sternum. Go right there below the collarbone. Tap, tap, tap. Thump that thymus. Increase T cell production. We're manually doing that. And then transfer that to your shoulder once again. Oh, yeah. Palm up this time. Bring it down the inside. Woo. All right. Love off that excess energy. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. So we're going to scoot back in our chair. We're going to do some knee strengtheners. I like to do this just because, you know, in chair yoga, sometimes the ability to get up and out of the chairs sometimes is kind of wonky knees going on. So I like to do this knee strengthener. It's a little bit of fun, maybe. So we're sitting firm into the back of the chair. Yeah. Okay. Very good. We're going to lift a heel, lift the leg up. Show me the bottom of your foot. Now I got to lift my leg up. It feels weird on the chair sometimes. And then we're going to lower it down, hover. And then we're going to point the toes and then release. So again, this is going to address, you know, strengthening all this in this knee complex, okay? Just notice if it feels a little spicy, okay? Let's do the other one. Okay, so lift the foot up. Again, toes towards you so you feel that calf contraction. You feel the stuff around the knees. Bend the knee if you need to. Feel the quadricep, maybe the booty. That's it. And then lower hover. Don't let it touch the floor. That's, you know, we're trying to do fine motor control here. And then point the toes. And my foot just popped. You didn't hear it because I was talking, but I felt it. And release. So we're going to add on to this. We're going to use the left side, the right side, the upper body, the lower body. So we're activating all the hemispheres of the brain. So we're doing a little dementia prevention here with this knee strengthener sequence. Let's start again. So flex that heel. Now take your opposite hand. So upper body, lower body, left and right. Different limbs here. So flex that hand. A little stop sign. Very good. Lower hover. Point the toe, point the fingers. Now zip up the abdominals. We're doing a little bit of chair Pilates also. So imagine you're doing the basketball dribble with a straight arm. Not that we do a basketball dribble with a straight arm, but this is the 100 in traditional Pilates. So we're activating that core and holding the pose, but not the breath. And release. Woo! That one's over. We got to do the other one. Flex that heel, flex the hand. You know it's coming up. Or do you? And then lower. And then point the toe, point the fingers. Zip up those abdominals. Let's do that weird basketball dribble, the Pilates 100. Keep breathing. Don't hold the breath. And release. Yay. One more set. Here we go. Flex the foot first. If I could talk, it'd be dangerous. Flex both hands, palms. So feel that contraction of the forearms when we do this. Fingertips towards the sky as best you can with what you got. Some people are going to have some challenges with this. Just know that. Lower, lower, lower. And then point the toes, point the fingers. Now we're going to start off with alternating arm up and downs. But to do the true 100s, you do them at the same time. Be cautious, be careful, be kind. Okay, and keep breathing. Got to do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I guess we're going to call it the Pilates 20. Let's do the other side. Flex the foot, flex both wrists. Again, if you want to do spread the feathers, do spread the feathers with those fingers. Make it a little bit more active. Yeah. Woo! And lower. And then point the toes, point the fingers, alternate. Here we go. Like we're swimming with straight arms. Do we ever do this? I don't know if we do or not. And then at the same time, here we go. Ooh. Those of us with scoliosis, which would be me, I feel my back popping when I do this. And that's okay. And release. Come away from the back of the chair. Yay. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then float the arms out to the side, exhaling. We're getting that breath. Let's do that again. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, float it down. Let's do that once again. Here we go. Breathe in, up, up, up. And exhaling. Wonderful. Let's bring the ankle bones together. The knees apart. So this is when we do the 6 essential spinal movements in chair yoga. Some of them are cat-cow, some of them are twists, some of them are side lateral movements. This is going to be doing the twists, kind of. And a lot of ankle articulation to make us walk better. So ankle bones together, we're going to heel toe out to the side. So where the twist comes in is maybe you can twist the upper body the opposite direction, or maybe it's the same direction. And my chair's squeaking. Of course. Again, sorry it's not Gina today. I was a last minute sub, so you get what you get, okay? So don't throw a fit. That's what they always tell my kindergartner way back in the day. I'm going, yeah, this is easy peasy, maybe not. Bring it back to the center. Okay, now we're gonna make it a little weird. Heels out, toes in. You know, I feel like they're really out, and I look down, I'm going, well, they're not, but there's the best I can do. We're going to independently walk them out and bring them in. Here we go. Ooh, do you notice one foot is more strong than the other? Maybe. You can tap your heel or your foot or the inside of the foot, or maybe not tap, but anyway, we're working it. Ooh. Ooh, goodness. One more time, all the way out and bring it all the way in. Very nice. Let's stomp those feet. And then come up on the balls of the feet and shake the legs. Again, great for lessening leg cramps. Stomp those feet. Shake those legs. Beautiful. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. We're going to do the Tai Chi breath now. Bring it down the center, bringing down the energy from the universe back down to the lower body. Let's do that 2 more times. The Tai Chi breath today. Inhaling up. Exhale, bring it down. Just subtly a little different than the yoga breath. And one more time. Breathe in, belly out. And exhale. Beautiful. From here, you know, we work the knees pretty good. We're going to do the rest of the spinal, 6 essential spinal movements. So we kind of sneakily did a little bit of twist, but, you know, I teach the back yoga class. And so we do, it's called unsupported twists. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to do a letter W with our upper back or elbows. So you feel that squeeze of the upper back musculature. And now I'm going to push my feet into the floor so I have everything firm into the ground. Sitting up tall, as tall as I can with my scoliosis back. You know, I do what I can. And then let's take a big breath in. Belly expands. Now draw that belly button towards your spine. We're going to only use the thoracic spine. We're going to turn over to one direction with squeezy shoulders. So this is an unsupported twist. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center and release your squeeze of the shoulders. So again, we're building the upper back musculature when we do the squeezy letter W. So a supported twist. Okay, what's the difference between unsupported and supported twist? Supported twist is You take a hand over to an opposite leg, so that's considered to be a lever, because what some folks will do is they'll push into the hand, push into the side of the leg, and twist. So they may be forcing a twist. So I teach unsupported twist. I just wanted to give you that little subtle difference there. If you have back problems, unsupported is the way to go. Let's do the other side. So back to the letter W. Squeeze those shoulders. Woo! All right, belly big, breathe in. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Let's turn over to the other side. Keep the squeezy shoulders as best you can. Ooh, I'm twisting a whole bunch on this side. Wow, okay. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Woo! Exhale back to the center. Beautiful. All right, shrug one at a time. This is also a lymphatic drainage technique to get that lymphatic fluids moving in your body. And while we're here, we might as well do the big six, shall we? Yeah, we shall. All right, so shake it out. So we're going to do those little Spock hands, or fingers above and below the collarbone, and you're going to stroke across the collarbone. So this is area number 1. Now you can stroke or you can tap across. You may notice a lot of excessive sinus fluids happening when you do the big six. You tend to have swelling, edema in the ankles. You need to do the big six, okay? Now let's do the other side. Again, I like to do the little Spock hands, but not everybody can do Spock hands, right? And if you want to roll your shoulder forward, you kind of feel those little divots, those little dips in your skin. That's where you're stroking, okay? So stroke, stroke, stroke. And then tap, tap, tap. Here we go. Tap, tap, tap. I can feel sinus drainage already. Very good. And we do the same kind of thing with number 2 area, which is in front and in back of the ear. You stroke down the side of the neck gently, and then you're going to stroke down the jawline. So again, we're encouraging, we have all this waste that occurs in our body, and we get rid of that lymphatic waste through movement. Our blood gets pumped by a heart, but you have to move to get rid of the lymphatic waste through sweat, pee, poo, all that kind of stuff. But it's got to get through the channels. This is helping with the stuff that accumulates in the brain, that cerebral spinal fluid. And you can also tap. Now let's do the other side, in front and back of the ear. What was it? Someone was telling me when they were doing this on a regular basis that they tended to get a lot of vertigo due to a buildup of earwax. And when they were massaging in front and back of the ear, that wasn't a problem for them any longer. I went, wow, that's kind of interesting. I'll share that with some folks. And then tap. All right, so area number 3, which we've already covered, is when men and women get breast cancer, they check the pectorals, the armpits, did the cancer move to those areas? So let's just kind of rub, scrub in there, and your thumb is in the front here in that pectoral area. You can also tap. You can also do a little fist in there, or just kind of rub in there. You can, if you need to, you can do a discreet deodorant check while you're here. Yeah, it's working. Y'all don't need to laugh at my silly jokes, okay? All right, and then let's go over to the other side. Here we go. I was always envious of those 3rd grade boys that could make those little sounds with their armpits, but it wasn't ladylike to do that when I was growing up, okay? All right, so area number 4 is your gut. So the gut's considered to be the second brain in the body. So the simple thing you can do is just play a little bit of drums. You can wiggle jiggle if you like. If you have constipation or, kind of whatever kind of stuff going on because you take a lot of medicines, you can also stimulate your ascending, descending colon, your small and large intestine by coming here right underneath where the ribs are, the bottom of the sternum, press in and then go in a circular movement. You can press or you can do those firm hand circles. So again, that kind of aids digestion and elimination, but you go from the top to the left and then continue the circle. So again, men and women that get ovarian, uterine, prostate cancer, they check for areas where did it move? Did it go to other areas? So we're going to bring our feet out a little bit. Where the leg inserts into the torso, we have this little crease here, and that's where they check. Did the cancer move on to there? So we're going to take the side of the hands, and Tai Chi would call this chopping the qua. So let's chop the qua. You can also use your fingers to stroke, but we're in mixed genders here. I'm just chopping the qua instead. You can go a little bit high on the hip and just kind of bring it down, that groin, that inguinal crease. And again, if you get swelling, edema of the ankles, the feet, the lower body, you work from 1 through 6 to help with bringing that lymphatic fluid to drain out through that subclavial left vein. Now, we're going to take the fingers back behind the knee pits. We got lots of lymph nodes back behind the knee pits. You can have armpit, you can have knee pit, right? So you can use that little L and chop a little bit, or just stroke. Now make sure you get the bottoms of the hamstrings and the tops of the calves also. Very good. Woo, a little bit more. All right, very good. Clap the hands. A little bit of heat. Once again, let's rub the shins, the calves, the outside of the legs, the inside, the underneath, the knees. Ooh, the knees love it. Come up on the fingertips, the cat claws on the fingers to stimulate those acupressure points, and reverse. And then we'll move into cat-cow on the chair. So sitting up nice and tall away from the back of the chair. And I have my hands on my legs. And again, we're going to do the belly out as we breathe in. So breathe in, belly out. And as we exhale, we contract that belly button towards the spine, and we curve our spine to the back of the room. Now, I invite you to keep the chin parallel to the floor so we're not doing excessive curvature of the cervical spine. So you might find your muscles kind of peeling away from the spine when you do this nice seated cat pose. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my little curve, my back. Yeah. And then we're going to come out of that pelvic tilt slowly to tall seated mountain. So you may feel that if you've got spicy behind business, okay? Then we're going to do cow. First we breathe in, belly big. Exhale, hinge forward. And again, I have my eyes looking forward. I don't drop my chin towards my chest. Again, that's too much for that cervical spine, okay? And I don't bring my chin towards the ceiling. So, the back yoga I teach permeates into the chair Tai Chi and all the things that I teach. I always teach, different things around unsupported twist, not curving the upper back curvatures going on. And then let's breathe in, belly big, and come back to tall seated mountain. Again, breathe in, curve to the back of the room, hang on to those knees. Ooh, feel that back just kind of peeling away from the spine. And then, breathe in first and contract that belly, come back to tall seated mountain. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale, hinge forward for that cow, or forward fold as we call it also. And then come back up to tall seated mountain. Now we're going to do side lateral flexion next. So from here, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. What I like to do in the chair, I like to sneak a hand behind me and then reach up, my feet a little wide, belly button tight, and lean my side body over it. Like I'm trying to reach that can of zucchini on the top shelf of my pantry. Because it's up there for a reason. Bring it back on up and float it down. Let's do the other side, but both arms go up first. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. And bring the hand behind you, and then reach up tall, 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 tall. Reach for the ceiling, and then over to the side. Now, sometimes when we do these twists, air happens, like burping, etc. It's normal, okay? And then bring it back on up and down. All right, so we haven't used our yoga block and our strap yet. We might need to use it next. I don't know. We're going to do piriformis bounce. So piriformis bounce could be ankle on top of the ankle, and you lift the leg and let it drop. So that could be your piriformis bounce. If you have the flexibility of bringing the leg on top of the thigh. Some people have it. Some people go, no. It's the same thing. You lift up and let it release. So we're preparing for pigeon pose. Ooh, preparing for pigeon pose. 3 Ps in a row. That's pretty good. So why are we bouncing the piriformis? Because sometimes that sciatic nerve is caught into the pelvic notch around the piriformis muscle or on the side. It gets kind of pinchy and can cause you leg pain, numbness, tingling, that kind of thing. And it can kind of move up the leg and down if it's a sciatic nerve. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. So this is where it gets spicy, folks, okay? We're going to tap, tap, tap the bottom foot. So do the little foot taps there. And then press that foot firmly into the floor. So you feel the activation of the bottom leg. Now we're going to take the top leg, whether it's crossed at the ankle or on top of the thigh, and invite the toes towards your knee. So you activate that calf muscle. Then we sit up tall, 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 tall. Here's where it gets spicy. Remember we did the cat-cow where we hinged forward. We're going to hinge forward, elbows out, hinge forward. Woo! You might find the spice right off the bat. You maybe only hinged maybe an inch. Now, if you want more, it's always if, okay? Maybe you press down on that leg. Maybe you do not. Okay. And then sit up tall with your chest, eyes looking forward. Very good. Because again, we're thinking about, we're not trying to excessively curve the upper or the neck musculature. We're just kind of trying to be lifted here and hope we're breathing. Whew. And then release. Yay. Bounce the leg, relax the foot. Maybe bring that leg down and wiggle that leg. I can't wiggle that leg without wiggling the other one. So just go ahead and wiggle the other leg too. Very good. Now we're going to do the other side. Again, maybe it's crossed here. You get a little bit more range of motion when it's here at the ankle. But if you want to, again, you can bring it here on top of the thigh. See, there's not much give going on there. So I'll wiggle it here down on the ankle, and then I'll bring it up here on the thigh to see what I can do. And I'm already noticing my back is curving, so I got to sit up tall. Okay. All right, so make it all still. Bottom foot, tap, 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 and then press that bottom foot firmly, vigorously into the floor. Nice. Now take your toes, point them towards your knee, sit up tall. This may be where you need to be. It may be like super spicy. But when we have spice in a yoga pose, we return the attention to the breath. We breathe in, listen to it, and exhale. Now, if you want to, grab your foot, grab your knee bone, hinge, hinge forward. Woo! It's kind of spicy. And again, lift to look at me. Lift, don't be bringing that chin to the chest. Bring it, and very good. And push your leg away. If you want to, it's kind of spicy. I love it. Maybe. I like this one when we're laying on the floor doing this one. Or on the couch or the bed. Because you can kind of really get into all that hip musculature that's going on here. Woo! And then let's release from that, kind of wiggle it a little bit. Maybe just kind of wiggle it on the floor. Go ahead and wiggle that leg, wiggle the other one, shake those legs a little bit, shake the arms. Why not? Next, we're going to do air pose and then a little bit of sumo. So we're going to bring a leg out to the side and in. Or what did we call these the other day? I think we call these angel wings. So again, your functional move, getting in and out of the car. Now we're going to add a little bit of air to it. So you're going to lift it up and down. So you're kind of greasing, oiling that hip joint here. Now, if you want to add a little bit more range of motion, fingertips underneath the knee and raise it up a little bit more. If you want a little bit of bone building benefit, release the foot, especially if you don't have brittle bones or maybe some spicy plantar fasciitis or neuromas. Excuse me. I ate a peanut butter jelly sandwich right before we came, and I'm tasting it again. And release. Now we got to do the other side. So here we go. Slide it out and in. Y'all got your yoga blocks and straps ready, and we haven't really used that in class. That's okay. And there. All right, now let's bring a little air to it. Notice if you are able to do this compared to the other side. How are you able to stay in the same range of motion? Is one more strong than the other? And then I invite you to increase your range of motion. And then if you can, drop your foot. This helps us prepare for seated warrior 2, by the way. Love seated warrior 2. We do lots of fun things in seated warrior 2. Let's do 85 more, shall we? How about 2 more? And that was 2. I think it was 2. Stomp those feet. Shake the legs and the hands. Beautiful. All right, let's see what we're going to do here. So you remember I had us do unsupported twist where we squeeze the shoulders. Well, we're kind of doing that again, but we're going to take the fingers and fold them into the pads of the hands, and then kind of like you have a little hitchhiker thumb here, right? So we're going to do contracted shoulders here. So remember this. Now we're going to scooch over to one side of our chair, and I have my knee pointed towards you. I'm going to air pose my leg out. So I'm prepping for warrior 1. Now I naturally kind of turn towards the center. What I want to try to do is turn my torso over the leg that's in the front of the room. And this other leg, I kind of feel this inner thigh groin business going on here. Yes, business, all right. And then we're not just laying the feet on the floor. We got to make it active. You press the feet firm into the ground. Go back to that letter W, supported or squeezy shoulders, and then those little golfer grip hands, arms out into a letter T. Now we're looking forward. We're going to take the thumbs, point them forward, and draw arm circles. Firm feet into the floor. So this is a bone building exercise. When you hold your legs, your body vigorously in a contraction for at least 30 seconds. And then we're getting this bilateral business going on with the arm circles. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Relax those shoulders. Relax the feet. All right. So that was kind of a non-traditional warrior 2 posture. We're going to take that leg that we stepped out, bring it back to the center, scooch back onto your chair, scooch over to the side a little bit, and then slide it out to the other side. Other side. Now again, we kind of naturally turn to the center because, hips align with the center. We're going to turn our torso out and over the leg that's pointed towards the front of the room and press that. Don't let the knee drop in, okay? So you got like a letter L happening here, hopefully. Press firm into the floor with the feet. Torso over the leg that's pointing forward. Squeeze those shoulders. And then do that. Fingers into the palm, thumbs, hitchhiker thumbs. Arms out to a letter T. And the squeezy shoulders. Now the thumbs were forward before. Thumbs up, thumbs to the back of the room. Now press the feet into the floor. Draw circles behind you. This helps with the back pain, by the way. Squeeze those shoulders. Arm circles as best you can with what you got, okay? Woo! 3 more. 3, 2, and they're slow counts. And 1. Beautiful. Relax those shoulders. Relax. Let go of that tension, yeah? Beautiful. Bring it back to the center. Woo! All right. My goodness. The heart rate should have went up a little bit when you did that because you're doing things hands above the heart, plus you're really vigorously pressing into the floor, contracting those large muscle groups. You're contracting the large muscle groups in the upper back musculature too when you're doing this. So it's all good things. All right, so we did warrior 2, we did pigeon, we did piriformis bounce. I'm trying to think what else we need to do here. I'm looking at my list. I got a big old list of chair yoga and Tai Chi we need to do. You know what? We're going to do a blood pressure technique. So if you have high or low blood pressure, this is one to activate the heart meridian, the pericardium meridian, to help you equalize that. And I know folks really like this in the chair Tai Chi. I hope y'all do too. So what it is, again, we're sitting away from the back of the chair. It's a nice, simple movement, coordinating the movement with the breath, lowers your cortisol, your stress hormone too. So simply arms out here to the side. And let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then we bring the back of the hands down the heart center. It kind of forms a little heart. Sneaky, huh? And then we look at our hands and we take the thumbs into the palms and the fingers on top of the thumbs. That stimulates the heart meridian. And then we do inhale, elbows back, chest forward. And then with the exhale breath, we bring the arms out, release the hands, but you turn the arm kind of palms up. That stimulates the heart meridian when you do that. And then inhale breath, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bring it on down. Grab those thumbs. Here we go. Inhale, elbows back, chest forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe in. Exhale, arms out to the side. Turn them out, turn them out. Beautiful. Inhaling up, up, up. Exhale, bring it down, helps to balance that blood pressure. Grab those thumbs. Inhale, elbows back, chest forward. Exhale, out to the side. Let's do that again. Breathe in, circle it up. Exhale, bring it down. Grab those thumbs. Here we go. Elbows back, chest forward. Breathe in. Exhale, out to the side. One more time. Here we go. Breathe in, up, up, up. Bring it on down. Grab those thumbs. Here we go. Inhale, elbows back. Exhale, arms out to the side. This time, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down fists. We're going to do eagle claw. So increase mobility, range of motion. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Reach for the sky with that fist. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up like spread the feathers. Exhale, push it forward. Inhaling back to the chest. Now turn your head to the side. Exhale, push it out. We're going to open and close 5 times vigorously. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waistline. Other side. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Reach, reach, reach. Notice what you notice. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up the palm. Beautiful. Exhale, push it forward. Inhaling back to your chest. Turn that head to the side. Here we go. Other side. Push it out. Here we go. 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do one more each side. Here we go. Inhale, fist to chest. The other one. Exhale, sky high. Reach for the sky. Beautiful. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up. Exhale, push it forward. Inhaling back to the chest. Turn the head. Exhale, push it out to the side. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to the waist. Last time. Here we go. Breathe in, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Reach it up, reach it up. Beautiful. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up the palms. Spread them out, spread them out. Exhale, push it forward. Inhaling back to your chest. Turn the head to the side. Exhale, push it out to the side. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to the waist. Next, we're going to do what's called the energy soother breath. So our arms are down beside our body, and we'll do palms away, and we flex the wrist. Inhale, arms up to a letter V, and then we turn the wrist down, flex the wrist. Exhaling, smoothing out that edgy energy. Again, palms up, flex those wrists. Breathe in. And exhale, flex those wrists. One more time. Here we go. Breathe in, flex those wrists, stimulating that pericardium heart meridian. Exhale, hands down. Nice. I'm going to come up a little bit closer to the camera. Again, when you get a sub at the last minute, you never know what you're going to get. And we're going to do a little bit of hand tapping here and then do a little bit of guided rest in our gratitude practice. Then we'll end our class. So I'm just going to tell you what's next, all right? So the sides of the pinkies, this is to help with headaches and vertigo. Slightly tap, tap, tap. Now, if you need to go, be sure to click that link in the chat line for the pain and distress survey. You know, put in your numbers after you've done the class, kind of think, is it different than when I began the class? So we're doing just the sampler today. You do this for about a minute each day if you want to start doing this. Very good. Now we're going to go into the interwebs of the fingers. This is to aid digestion and nausea, stomach disorders. So you tap, tap, tap into that web. Again, digestive disorders, nausea. I know my mom would come in and go, Peach. Now I know why. Now I would say, Mom, stop that. Now I'm not teaching next Wednesday, because I'm going to go visit my mom. She's turning 99. So that makes me vintage too. You're trying to calculate the numbers. All right, now switch it. Ooh, little brain fart happened there. It's like, oh wait, it's the other direction. Yeah. Okay, so we have these interwebs of the fingers. We have lots of meridians going through the fingers. This is for pain or numbness in the limb. So you softly tap, tap, tap. Now you normally like interlace your fingers a certain way. I think in church, here's a church, here's a steeple, that thing, yeah. So you normally used to interlacing your fingers a certain way. You have a pattern. We're going to break that pattern in just a second. So tap, tap, tap for lessening pain and numbness in the limbs. Now we're going to pause and then wiggle the top finger. Okay, you're wiggling the top finger and then switch the other finger to be on top. My brain just went, what? Tap, tap, tap. Woo. Okay, so next is the pulse points. Again, that's for heart cardiovascular issues right here at the base of your palm. Some people will go like this, but I like to do up and downs. Then we get to do it twice as long. Tap, tap, tap. Again, heart pericardium meridian, clearing blockages through those meridians with some of this tapping work that we do. Sometimes we get an emotional release when we do tapping. Just don't be surprised by that. It's kind of a normal thing, yeah? And flip it. Boy, hear a dog barking. Gail gets easily distracted. That's me, Gail. Were you thinking this was Gina? It's Gail today. All right, so my next favorite is the, cupping. Remember we swung the arms a little bit? I think we did. We cup the hands and we tap the top of the hands, but I curve it a little bit. So that's for osteoarthritis, back pain. Osteo means bone. Let's see, what's the rest of it? Arth means joint, itis means inflammation. So here we go. Osteoarthritis, back pain. Again, if you've got rings, curve it a little bit more, folks, okay? Let's do the other one. I got a ring on this side, so I got to curve it a little bit more. I'm a redhead, so I tend to bruise easily, but I don't tap this hard enough to make bruises, so there you go. The next one is kind of my second favorite. I can move my bracelets. Right here at the wrist. It's for, what is it for? It's for neck and shoulder pain. So again, tap, tap, tap. Makes a nice little sound. And let's do the other one. I got my watch on that one, so I'm a little bit more on the top of the hand than the wrist. Woo! Now make a fist. We're going to punch into the palm. You can be a little vigorous on this one, okay? Notice your strength. Whatever you need to do. Lessen that stress, folks. Ease that anxiety. Huh. Do the other one now. You're going to compare. Is it stronger? Is it weaker? This one's weaker. Very good. Woo! Got those hands. Rub some heat, circulation back into the palms, back into the fingers. Now scooch back in your chair. We're going to do a quick little healing sun meditation here, a little guided rest here. So you can rest your palms up. You can place them on your belly. You can be it however you need to be. Maybe you're going to scooch over to the comfortable couch. Whatever you need to do, okay? Wriggle those shoulders a little bit. Kind of shake those arms, move the feet, and then just kind of settle down there. You have the option of keeping the eyes closed. Well, what I invite you to do, maybe you can just drop the chin a little bit and the eyes can gaze down at the floor, or they can be closed. And at the crown of the head, there's a governor vessel number 20. It's called the Bakway in Korean. And imagine there's a little hole opening up there. Now we got this big old ray of sunshine coming down to the top of the head through that little hole at the top of the head. And it's saturating every cell in your body from the top of the head down to the chin, to the neck, the collarbone, the arms, elbows, hands, and wrists. And then it's continuing into your chest, your hips, your right, your left leg, all the way down to the tips of the toes. It's saturating every bone in your body, every cell, every tendon, every layer, every muscle in your body, saturating with that healing sunshine. So breathe in the light, breathe in the healing, see it, feel it, imagine as if it were already true. Again, from the very top of the head, all the way down to the tips of the toes. If you have a spicy area in your body today, folks, maybe you can redirect some of that sunshine to that area. Just let it Really kind of warm it up, heal it up there. Again, as if it were already true. Very good. From here, open those eyes. If they were closed, kind of flutter them up. And then we're going to scoot away from the back of the chair, have wide knees, hands on those knees. And we're going to do those wide shoulder circles just to invite a little bit of movement back into the body. You might feel your core when you do this. So go a little slow, or in my case, a little squeaky, because my chair talks. Oh my gosh. And then pause and go the other way. Here we go. Squeak, squeak, squeak. All right, now we're going to do our gratitude practice. So what I invite you to do, you can either stack your hands or hands together at your heart center. And what I like to do is invite you to drop your chin towards your chest, and gratitude just showing up. Eyes can be closed or open here. And I appreciate y'all's dedication, determination, and discipline, and that responsibility for signing up for a class, for coming to a class, or maybe doing a video over on Veterans Yoga Project YouTube channel. You're on your journey of self-healing, self-help with coming to these classes online. So thank you for showing up today. And let's think about one thing that we're grateful for today, or maybe an idea of gratitude, and you grab it and you clasp it. And then let's place it into that heart space. And let's think about that just for a moment here. Good. And I invite you to raise your head to look forward. And we'll say our traditional sayings to end our class today. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take that strength, that understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of chair yoga for Friday. Thank you for coming today.